Tessa was pouting in her room for over 2 hours now. Stephen heard her talking on the phone, probably telling all her friends what an asshole he was. But it had to be done. She had to accept that fact that she couldn't get everything she wanted every time. If her mother wouldn't set some boundaries, then he would. Tessa was Stephen's stepdaughter and she was home from college for a few weeks. She was a selfish, spoiled brat. Every time Stephen had tried to set some basic rules or boundaries, she would always ignore them and get her will when her mother was around. But her Kathleen wasn't around right now. She was in Europe and Tessa had to deal with Stephen for a change. Tessa had just turned 18 a few days ago and she had gotten everything she wanted. An expensive party at an expensive venue with all her fancy friends and all the expensive presents she had demanded. Oh yes, she never asked for anything, she demanded. It was not even 3 days after her birthday when she demanded something else. She told Stephen that she needed money because she wanted to have her belly button pierced, and of course she also needed him to take her to a hip piercing studio she had selected at the other end of the city. Stephen had said no. She would just look at him like he had spoken in some kind of alien language. After he clarified to her that he wouldn't give her money and that he wouldn't take her anywhere, she stormed off to her room, slamming the door shut behind her, and she had not come out since. He already felt bad for shouting after her, "If you want this, you can walk there yourself in your fancy heels and pay for that fancy piercing with your own money," but he would not back down on this. He was determined to see this through. If he would give in now, she would never learn her lesson. He would not go away either. He would sit in the big chair in the living room until she calmed down, and then they would have a talk. For now, though, she kept texting him once in a while. "Tessa, what's your problem?" "Stephen, attitude." Then after some time, "Tessa, talk to Mom, she said belly button piercings are dumb." "Tessa, you kinda saved me." "Stephen, you're welcome, and eventually, Tessa, I want to fix this with you." "Tessa, will you let me?" "Stephen, I will, if you are serious." "Tessa, I am." No more bad attitude. Tessa came out of her room and walked over to Stephen. She carried her phone and her large pink headphones. They were a gift from him, actually. Kathleen had told him the exact make and model she demanded, and then she didn't like the color. Stephen had to return them to the store on the same day to get them in pink. Tessa gave the phone and headphones to Stephen. "What is it?" he asked. "I want to set things right between us, so I made like a message from me to you." "Okay, I am going to listen to it, but then we need to talk about our issues, Tessa." "I promise you it will fix any issues you have with me, Stephen." "I wish it would be that easy, but it's a start." Tessa handed him the phone and made sure the big soft pads covered his ears completely when she put them on his head. She reclined the comfortable chair he was sitting in and dimmed the lights. "Just relax and take it all in." The phone displayed a large button that said begin. Stephen tapped it and the screen started flashing in a rapid succession of different colors and shapes. He thought he saw Tessa's face appear at times, or was it her voice he heard in his ears? He looked and listened attentively, but he could not quite make it out. He was not sure what this was all about, but he started to feel a sense of ease and relief as the sights and sounds blasted his eyes and ears, and the longer he looked at the screen, the clearer it became to him that Tessa was right. Right about what, though? Probably about something she said earlier. It was not the time to think about that now. He had to concentrate on the message she had made for him. The patterns had changed and he now experienced a sense of urgency. He felt that it was important to listen. He needed to listen to Tessa. It was crucial that he always remembered that Tessa was right. She was right about everything, anything, all the time. He knew that, and he was glad she was there to make sure he would know what to do. The message changed again and Stephen was overcome with a sense of uncertainty. He was certain that he would ruin everything if he didn't listen to Tessa. He became afraid that he might make a mistake and terrible things would happen. Stephen didn't know how long the message lasted. He felt like waking from a daze. The lights were back on and Tessa was sitting on the couch across him, texting with her feet up on the table. "You promised me a talk," he said, and Tessa looked up. "I promised you to solve all your issues and I'm going to. If you listen to my message you will understand what I mean. We will talk in a bit, but I'm hungry now. Make me a sandwich." Tessa was right, she needed something to eat. He could always talk to her later. Stephen went to the kitchen to prepare her favorite sandwich and bring it to her in the living room. It felt a bit odd, because eating in the living room was one of the issues he wanted to talk to her about. But that didn't matter now, Tessa was hungry now. "You didn't cut the crust, Stephen, and you should wear an apron for preparing and serving food." Tessa was right, how could he forget to cut the crust? He went back to the kitchen and came back with a neat sandwich and wearing his wife's apron. "Much better, Stephen. Why don't we have dinner together? You could have the crust and all the discards and scraps, put them into a bowl and mash them into a pulp with a shot of castor oil and bring the smallest spoon you can find." Tessa was right, he shouldn't be wasteful. He turned around to go back to the kitchen and prepare his healthy dinner. "Mom's white mules will go much better with the apron, Stephen, no socks." When Stephen returned with his bowl of mush, his toes peeked out of a pair of wedge-heeled mule sandals. "Aren't these so pretty?" Tessa said. "I think you want to eat standing up, Stephen, so you can get used to them." Tessa was right, she should get used to the unfamiliar shoes. As he ate the goo he scowled with every spoonful he put in his mouth. "What is it, Stephen? Don't you like your dinner?" Tessa teased. "It's disgusting," he replied, but kept eating. "It is, isn't it? But we can do something about that. I want you to smile and say after every spoonful like you enjoy eating it, like it is the best thing in the world." Stephen continued eating with a childish grin now. Isn't that so much better?" "What have you done, Tess?" he asked between two spoons. "I am solving our issues. You said the problem was your attitude, remember? You see, this app you used is called Attitude Adjustment and it made all the problems we had earlier disappear, didn't it? It fixed your attitude all right. Are you going to pay for a piercing now?" "Yes, Tess. Call me Miss Tessa." "Are you going to take me there and pay for it?" "Yes, Miss Tessa." "Are you happy that I allow you to do this for me?" "No, Miss Tessa." "I know, right? That's the great thing about it," she said cheerfully. "You have become aware that you are under my control, but you will have to obey me anyway and you will hate every minute of it." "Miss Tessa, please." "You are pathetic, Stephen, we haven't even started yet and you are begging already." Her voice now had an angry tone and Stephen became worried. He was alone with her until tomorrow. It was probably best not to make her any angrier until Kathleen came back. "Now show me how pathetic you really are. On your knees, forehead to the floor." Stephen dropped and rested his head right in front of Tessa's toes. She put her right foot on the back of his head, pushing his face into the carpet with the tip of her heels. "That is actually rather cute, I could get used to that pose," she said, back in her cheerful voice. "Isn't that so much better than before?" "You are responding very well to the app, Stephen. Right now we are only playing around a bit and testing it out and so far I really like how it works, don't you?" "Mo," Stephen said, with his mouth squashed to the floor and Tessa laughed. "Very good. Anyway, you are going to do the dishes now, Stephen. I want you to lick my plate and your bowl clean before you properly wash them and put them away." Then you take off all your clothes except for the nice mules and go to the bathroom. You will squat down and wait for the castor oil to work. You better keep it in though, because you don't have permission to use the toilet. While you wait, you will brush your teeth with soap to get the nasty taste out of your mouth. You will crouch and brush and clench until I come and allow you to stop. Do you understand that? Yes, Miss Tessa. Good boy. Now get to it. Stephen started licking Tessa's plate on the way to the kitchen. 20 minutes later, he was sweating bullets on the bathroom floor. His legs were hurting, his bowels were on fire, and his mouth was numb and sore at the same time when Tessa finally showed up. Stop brushing. She walked around him in her heels and looked down at his nude body. You will need to shave. Jeshmish Tasha, he answered with his mouth full of foam. Close your mouth, be quiet. Tessa opened the bathroom cabinet and the next thing Stephen heard was a buzzing sound. Without comment, she began to shave his head to a stubble using electric clippers. She paid close attention to removing his eyebrows. Now that looks perfect for you. The rest you will have to do yourself, she said and giggled. Oh, poor Stephen, would you like to go potty now? He desperately nodded his head. Because he had been told to keep quiet, he couldn't talk. I tell you what. First you are going to shave your whole body completely smooth, then you clean up this whole mess. All the hair and the soap you drooled on the floor. I want it absolutely spotless, understand? And you will not stand up. You will waddle around like this. She smiled when she saw tears in his eyes. Better hurry up if you are that desperate, Stephen, or you will have a lot more cleaning to do. When you are all done, you can rinse your mouth and use the toilet. Then take a cold shower and report to Mom's bedroom in nothing but the mules. Oh, and leave the stubble on your head. Tessa was just looking at a pair of panties and started laughing hard when she saw Stephen waddling into the upstairs bedroom. OMG. You are so funny, Stephen. You weren't even supposed to do that. You could have walked. She bowed down to him with her hands on her thighs like talking to a little kid. You weren't sure what to do, she said in a sweet higher-pitched voice and nodded mockingly in unison as Stephen nodded his answer. You didn't want to make Miss Tessa angry, no? And she shook her head with him when he answered silently. You are really, really obedient right now, aren't you, Stephen? Isn't that amazing? She said back to her normal voice. Come over here now and stand up. I have laid out some stuff for you to wear. Since Mom's shoes fit you so well, let's see how you do in her panties. Tessa handed him a pair of pink thongs and told him to tuck his thing between his legs. Next came a pair of tight white capris to show off the mules, as Tessa explained when she pulled the thing up above the waistline in the back, giving Stephen an uncomfortable wedgie. Then Tessa put a bra on him and stuffed it with socks. On top of it, she made him wear a pink fuzzy cashmere crop top with short sleeves and a turtleneck. She stepped back to have a look and smiled. Very sexy, Stephen, now turn around for me. Stephen turned and kept turning until she told him to stop. Almost perfect, you only need a few accessories. Tessa added a pearl necklace and a gold chain with a big gold locket around his neck, a couple of chunky bangles on each wrist, and almost comically large pearl drop earrings clipped to his lobes. Very pretty, now a touch of color. Pucker your lips, sweetie. She grabbed his chin with one hand and applied a thick layer of dark red lipstick. I think Mom said this was your favorite, right? Stephen tried to move his head, still in Tessa's grip. You're allowed to talk, she said. I like it on Kathleen. He replied with his lips still pursed. And now you will like it on yourself. Smile and walk up and down for me. Stephen walked up and down the bedroom while Tessa gave him instructions. Swing those hips, girl, and move your arms. I want to hear these bracelets jingle. You are getting yourself in so much trouble right now, Tess. I don't think so, Stephen. Wait until Kathleen comes home. What do you think is going to happen? Oh, I can handle Mom. I am more worried about you, Stephen. I am giving you a little bit of freedom and all you can think about is trying to piss me off. I think we need to add some blush to your makeup. Come over here and stand still. She slapped his face twice on each side. Who is in charge, Stephen? You, Tess. Slap slap who? You are in charge, Miss Tessa. Slap slap, and don't you forget that. Stephen's cheeks burned and he was furious that Tessa was able to treat him like that and he couldn't do anything about it. If she thought Kathleen would let this one slide, she was delusional. He had also noticed that he slowly regained some control. He could still not stop himself from obeying her commands, but if he concentrated he was able to fight it and delay his reaction for a second. He couldn't let her know though. If he played this right, he might take her by surprise before Kathleen had to deal with all of this. But for now he would nod and smile, because he was told to. Now that was fun, wasn't it, Stephen? Tessa said, while rummaging in her bag. Stephen nodded, yes, Miss Tessa. Don't think I haven't noticed that you start to snap out of it. She said and turned around, holding the pink headphones in her hands. I think you are ready for another dose. Wait, Tessa, I'm sure that's not necessary, please, he pleaded, while Tessa put them on his head with a smile. Hold this. She gave him her phone. Look at it. He held it in front of his face. Tessa, please. Tessa plugged the headphones in, staring Stephen in the eyes with an evil smile. We still have plans tonight, Stephen. I need you all respectful and obedient to Miss Tessa. Start the app. Stephen tried to fight as his finger inevitably moved towards the screen. But just before the app opened, a message from Kathleen popped up. Tess, darling, I'll be home, yay. He hit the delete button more accidentally than deliberately. The message was gone and Tess wouldn't see it. What did it say? Early? Stephen had about 1 second to hope that this could be over soon. Then he only knew he had to watch, because Tessa was right. Come on, let's go. Stephen didn't know what she was talking about. Where are we going, Miss Tessa? Don't you remember? The belly button piercing? I thought you didn't want it anymore, Miss Tessa? That's right, but as your reward for saving me, we are going to get you one. Don't you think that's nice, Stephen? Tessa was right. It was very nice of her. She allowed him to drive her all the way downtown in his cute new outfit. It felt funny driving in the mules. Before they got there, Tessa pointed out the perfect place to park. They only had to walk a few blocks on a busy sidewalk until they got to the piercing parlor. Tessa had made an appointment, but they were early, so they had to wait. She made Stephen stand completely still next to her chair in the waiting area while she was reading a magazine. What a lovely sissy you have there, a lady said from across the room. Sissy? Tessa asked. Yes, a obvious male slave humiliated by wearing female clothing, or what do you call him? I call him Stephen, Tessa answered. He looks more like a Stephanie, the lady replied, and both laughed. My name is Rahi, she introduced herself. I am having my own slave tattooed right now. What tattoo is he getting? Tessa wanted to know. I'm having 2 squares placed on his butt, filled with a deep red color, and on his lower back he will get a line that says, please spank until color matches. Tessa laughed. That's great. Maybe I should get Stephen one of those too. What are you here for, darling? Rahi asked. I allow him to have his belly pierced, and he is very grateful for that, don't you, Stephen? Yes, Miss Tessa. How adorable. I see he is wearing clip-ons on his ears. You simply must get them done too. That's a great idea. Do you have any other suggestions, Rahi? I have endless ideas, darling. Come over here and let's talk about them. Stevens could do nothing but stand there and listen to what they would to do to his body. It was late when they left the parlor, and Stevens' exposed belly button was now adorned with a crystal flower that was inside his belly button, a row of crystal butterflies that dangled from it, and a large shiny metal ball on top of it all to keep it in place. But that was not all. His ears had been pierced in 3 places each, for now, as Tessa had assured him. And he carried a pair of small but massive hoops in the lower holes and large pearls above them. Both his nipples had been fitted with heavy barbells that he could feel with every step he took, but the most humiliating new feature his body had to offer was a tramp stamp tattoo on his lower back saying, "Property of Tessa." Of course, it was clearly visible in his outfit. Tessa had made Stephen sign every form with a smile, and his credit card had paid for it all. Rahi and Tessa had giggled and cheered throughout all the procedures, as well as taken pictures of every step. When he was done, Rahi insisted they had to get him a wig to complement his new persona, and Stephen ended up wearing a platinum blonde hive on his head with a pink bow on top. Tessa and Rahi exchanged numbers and promised to meet up and take him shopping for Sissy clothes and other items he would require in his new life. On the way back to the car, Tessa made him walk behind her, and once they arrived back at the house, she told him to get on his knees to kiss her toes and thank him for the nice trip. Who would have thought how great this all worked out, Stephen? I love your new attitude, don't you? You just wait until Kathleen comes home, Tessa. Do you really think this won't have any consequences for you? You can't make this go away. There is no way for you to weasel your way out of this. You wanted it, Stephen. You signed all the forms yourself, remember? One of the reasons I love your mother is because she is smart, Tess. You can't play her for a fool, and don't even try. You're really getting on my nerves again, Stephen. Do you need another dose of obedience? Stephen quickly backed down, remembering that Kathleen could be back soon. He needed to buy some time. No, Miss Tessa. Ah. But I think you do. Actually, we are going to do something new this time. There is a convenient little hack for the app. It will link you permanently to a trigger word, and you would have to do whatever I say every time you hear it for the rest of your life. I think we are going to try that now. It sounds so much easier than having to condition you every couple of hours. It will also be a lot more subtle and less forced than now. You will have some free will, but you will still be my slave, forever. Stephen was horrified. If she did that now, before Kathleen was back, everything was over. No, Tessa, please just think about it for a minute. Oh shush, get undressed and meet me in the bedroom. When Stephen entered the bedroom, Tessa held up her phone. Now what do you think would be a good word, Stephen? Pathetic? Dickless? Obey? Now? Nah, I think we are going with something more sneaky. Please think about it. Every time I'll ask you for something and say please, you will have to do it, and everyone will think I'm so polite and you are so helpful. I am sure you will hate it. She spoke the word into the phone and put it down on the floor in front of the bed. Get over here and lay down. Chin over the edge so you look directly into the screen. Tessa, please wait. Please just wait a little bit. We can talk about this. I'll be good, he desperately tried to stall her. Yes, you will be good, Stephen. Stephen's freshly pierced nipples and belly hurt as she made him lay on his stomach, and his ears joined in on the pain as she placed the headphones on him. The hack requires physical stimulation. Something your brain will tell you to avoid by obeying me, Tessa explained, and Stephen saw a doubled-up belt dangling down from her hands in the corner of his eye. It will only take about 20 minutes. Now press start and lay still. Stephen tried to fight it as hard as he could, but again his hand moved to the screen and the colors began to flash. This time it didn't seem to hypnotize him though. It didn't seem to do anything at all. Then the first smack with the belt hit his bottom and he yelped. "Quiet! Don't move," Tessa barked at him and smacked his bottom again. "I want you to smile, Stephen." She kept beating his ass with the belt again and again, walking from one side of the bed to the other so she could get him evenly from all angles. Stephen was in so much pain, but he had to take it without resistance while he looked into the screen and Tessa's voice in his ears kept telling him to obey. Suddenly the bedroom door flew open and he heard Kathleen's voice. "Tessa? What the hell are you doing?" He was saved. When Stephen came to, he was still on the bed. He could not move and his ass was on fire, but he heard Kathleen scolding Tessa and it was the most wonderful thing he had ever heard in his life. "How could you do that, Tessa?" Stephen was absolutely right. "You are a selfish little brat and I should not have left you alone with him." Kathleen was furious, and the forced smile on Stephen's face had become accurate. "Look at that tattoo! Why would you do something like that? And it's all skewed too." "But Mom." "Don't you but Mom me, young lady. You had no permission to do this. You know exactly what we talked about." But Stephen didn't know what Kathleen was talking about. "But Mom, it's not skewed. It's just, there is room for it to say property of Kathleen and Tessa. Look. Your name goes right here." It was supposed to be a surprise, she said in her whiny voice she always used to weasel out of things, but it would not. "Oh Tessa, that is so sweet." Stephen couldn't believe Kathleen would fall for this. "I had it made so your name would come first, Mom." "Oh, come here you adorable little girl." Stephen couldn't believe they hugged each other now. Had Kathleen completely forgotten that he was still helplessly lying here? "Now for you, Stephen." Obviously she had not. "I am sorry, dear, it wasn't supposed to happen that way. I had been meaning to talk to you about taking over some more responsibilities in the house, and how we could ease the tension between you and Tess. When I saw a demonstration of the app in Europe, I thought it was the best thing ever for you and I bought it right away. When Tess called me and told me how mean you had been to her, I sent her the app just to sort things out until I was back. Believe me, I had explicitly told her that she was not allowed to condition you permanently." Stephen couldn't believe that it was Kathleen who had given Tessa the app. What was she thinking? She poked his sore butt with her fingers while she kept talking. "Because now we have to do this all over again. To condition you to me too, sweetie." When she finished the sentence, she gave him a slap with her palm. He couldn't see her, but he had a feeling she was smiling. "I'm sorry, but this is going to get a lot worse for you before it is going to get better for Tess and me." Now he knew what she had been thinking. Kathleen entered darling as her own trigger word and Tessa insisted to have now a second one, because she would probably grow tired of saying please. Now that's 20 minutes per trigger to lock them in properly. "I hope you realize I am not going to do that all by myself, Tess." "Aw, Mom. Don't be like that. Think about it this way. It's the last thing ever we can't make him do for us." Now they belted him both after starting the app again. One from each side alternately, while they chatted away. "I'm glad I got back early. This needs to be done right, Tess. I am sure you would have forgotten to apply icy hot after the spanking to keep the pain fresh for a few hours." "Gross. I'm not touching his butt." "Yes, you will. That is going to be your punishment. I'll make sure you go all the way into his crack with the stuff. Every hour on the hour. Ew." But only if I get to have him done up like Rahi said. Remember what I told you about? Fine, you can get him some permanent makeup when you go to have my name added, but I want it subtle. Are we clear about that? Sure, Mom, whatever. Stephen was in hell and he smiled.